Oh, and here's somebody getting baptized. Some little baby's getting baptized with a lot of hair. That's Betty and Carl Fry, and I'm thinking that is Jim. Yeah, it's Betty Fry, and there's Father Sire. That is Jim. That is Jim getting baptized because he had a bunch of hair, and Father Sire gave his hands a special blessing so that he would grow up to be a priest. Well, we blew that one, didn't we? There's Tom. Sure, that's Jim's baptism. At St. Andrew's Church, there's Mother in a little red hat, and there's Corrine. There's me. There's Patty. There's Deb. And there's Jim. Oh, is that sweet or what? My goodness gracious, you did grow up to look better, honey. Thank goodness. And Betty Fry, my gosh, I wonder if she's still living. One never knows. And Ray was the godfather. There's Jim on his first birthday. Did you need all that help blowing that candle out, Jim? I can't believe with all the hot air. And you're not dipping into that cake? There you go. Come on, kid. Dig in. I can't believe it. He's ignoring it. Maybe he didn't like chocolate cake, do you think? Oh, I've got a feeling he's going to hit it with gusto. There we go. I knew you didn't. Oh, I've got a feeling the whole face is going to go in. Oh, what a mess, Jim. Come on, we'll just dip in and get it. Oh, yuck. Jeez. Now that's the Jim I know. And I encouraged it. Maybe that's what started the whole affair. Holy cow. I can't believe I kept sitting there taking... Oh, jeez. You're going to throw it all over the house. And we probably ate it after that. Oh, good grief. Come on, turn off that camera and get it moving. Yeah, now we're going to clean you up with a little luck. This is when we should do the little bathtub scene. Would you believe I was wearing big earrings even then? Lord have mercy. I thought I didn't start that till I was old. You are oh, there you go. Oh, Jim started walking at the age of 9 months. He climbed out of the baby crib before he was a year old, flipped over, had 2 teeth in his mouth, and knocked out one of them. We finally had to put poor Jim in a bed strap because he could climb out of the bed when he was a year old. And one night I was asleep, and he comes in and taps me, and he says, "Sticky." And he had been in the kitchen on top of the sink and dumped a bottle of cough medicine over. And that's what was sticky. Are you there? Here we are singing. Yeah. I kicked the cord and I thought maybe I blew it out. Oh my gosh, who's got a birthday now? And she's fanning it out with her dress yet. Oh, we're all singing like crazy. That's a bunch of candles. So I don't know whose birthday it was because there are 4 of you there. Maybe it was Patty's. Don't tell me that's you again, Jim, or is that Dave? Dan. Yeah, you couldn't be that old, though, could you? Oh, that's me. Oh, my gosh, I'm in the birthday suit. The sailor suit. I think this was Jim's birthday, and that's when Grandpa Berger turned to my dad and said, "What's the name of that kid?" And it was the birthday kid that he had come to celebrate the birthday with. That was the year. Grandpa Berger was a little aloof, I would say. Never quite knew what was going on. But that is Jim, and you were 2 years old. Look at that. You finally learned how to blow out a candle. Is God good or what? Now, don't put your little hands in there, sweetheart. You're a little old for that now. Oh, now look at you're all dressed up. And we're singing happy birthday. That's Patty singing. And me and Tom and Jim. There's Jim. Where are you sitting, Jim? What are you doing? Oh, you're on a bicycle, maybe? Oh, you are. You're in a little car. Jim is getting his first haircut. I can't remember the barber's name, but he had this little shop right next door to Burger Furniture. And when Burger Furniture decided to expand, they bought out the drugstore and the grocery store. They built a parking lot at the corner, only the barber wouldn't sell. And he had a little shop about 8 feet wide, so that stayed there attached to Burger Furniture. And I think maybe he would have sold it for an astronomical amount of money. So Grandpa decided not to deal with it. So there's Jim getting his haircut. And you went into that chair a little baby, and you're going to come out looking like a grown-up person. You're pretty good about this whole affair, Jim, getting your hair cut. Well, look at that. There's a big boy. Does that look cool or what? You know, I never did save little chunks of hair from you kids. I should have done that. Oh, well, too late now. Especially I should have saved them for Tom, because he lost all that hair. We could have been gluing it back on his head all this time, Tom. Sorry about that. Oh, my goodness. He was really giving you a haircut. I guess that was probably the only real haircut you got for years, because remember, I used to give you guys your haircut. Oh, now do you look great or what? Okay, now that's Jim Wave. Oh, that's Jim's first day at school. And Linda Murphy. Oh, and this was your first day of school. And you weren't too thrilled. There you go, Jim. Oh, and Linda said, would you cut it out and come on? Keep it moving. You know, I think it was a day that you weren't too thrilled about going to school. I don't know why we didn't get Tom going to school. Maybe he'll show up later doing that. But okay, that was Dan sitting on the side. There's Johnny Merard. There's Jim. Oh, there you are with the hole in your head. That's when John Berger hit you in the head with the hammer. And Aunt Loretta goes flying downstairs. She just knew you had done something to her little Johnny. And here you are with blood dripping down your head. She never apologized. Yeah, sure, there's John Merard. And there's Dan sitting in the background. And here comes the bus. Goodbye, Jim. Oh, and there's your little pad to lay down and take your nap on. Oh, there's me. And okay, now Dan's crying because you're going to school, Jim. Somebody was always crying because somebody else went to school. But that was Dan having a hissy fit at that point. I think I always tried. Oh, there you are. Come home. That was a short day. So how was school, Jim? Oh, now here you are making your first communion. You were a ham bone. This must be first communion, because you've got a white shirt on. Why else would you wear a white shirt? And I know that's you. That's not Tom. So I guess we must have Tom coming up later, perhaps. Oh, my goodness, you're blessing yourself, too. I tell you, we did have a holy crew there, didn't we? I guess it beats saying wave to the camera. That is Aunt Pat, I think. Sure, and there's Warren, Loretta. There's Pat Burke, Grandma Berger. There's John Larson, Grandpa Berger. And there's Jim still praying. Oh, good boy, Jim. There's Mother, my mother. And that is Feathers. No, that isn't Feathers. That's my father. There's Deanie. Wasn't she pretty? My goodness gracious. And there's Bob Burke. And there's Jim making a speech, probably telling the glory of having received the Lord. I'm sure it was something lovely like that. You surely weren't up there just doing your act. Maybe you were, because that's going on pretty long. You think you could have been saying a prayer of some sort? Well, it was a long one, whatever the heck it was. Isn't it a shame that you didn't have sound in those days to hear what the heck you were saying? Because I'm sure it was noteworthy. Do you believe I was cooking that food for all those people every 5 minutes, it looks like? Jim, you're still talking? You don't care that they're eating and not paying any attention. Good grief. What in the world? Maybe you're saying the whole rosary. It sure looks like it. You're going on for a month and a half. Okay. Oh, we're still at First Communion. There's Tom. There's Dan. Hello, Dan. Oh, now you're going to... And Debbie and Patty. Oh, here we go. There's Tom is batting. Okay, now come on. Somebody throw the ball right in the middle of the whole dining room. No, it wasn't the dining room. It was the Wow, and he hit that sucker. That was a home run. And that is Jim catching in your First Communion outfit. Look at you with all the padding and all the stuff. You really needed it in the basement down there, kid. Oh, come on, Tom. Don't strike out when you're on camera, for heaven's sakes. Oh, ball. Who's doing the pitching? Oh, ball 2. I think it's Patty pitching. Oh, who? Isn't that wonderful? None of these people are paying an ounce of attention to what those little children are up to. They're in the middle of the room playing ball, and everybody else is sitting around chitty-chatting. I think that was, is that Dan, I think, sitting on the chair watching the whole thing. There's Bob. Oh, he's the umpire. Strike 2. Come on, Tom, hit that ball. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Tom is, no, he didn't strike out yet. He's still at it. Come on, Tom, hit it. Oh, so we can go home, Tom. Who in the world is that sitting at the bar? Somebody. Oh, it's Patty. Now, Patty, I don't want to ruin your whole day, honey, but you were never Joe Jock. Is that Tom again, or is that Jim or Dan? That might be Dan. Because that's Jim, I think, still catching. Oh, now, boy, we sure switched around in a hurry. Who in the heck are these people? Oh, I said I was going to do this tape so that you would know who was what. And now I don't know who was what. Okay, it must be one of ours that was a catcher. And that is Seven Holy Founders. That looks like Jim from the back. But I'm not sure. Was Jim a catcher? I don't know. But he's got to be one of ours. Otherwise, why would we be focusing on him? Oh, my gosh. Well, whoever it was, I wouldn't own up to because you can't catch the ball. Good grief. We'll act like it's a stranger because I'm sure a burger would have hung on to these balls. If you don't catch one, we're going to take the camera off. You going to catch one? Oh, no, I don't know who that is. Patty. Son of a gun, you caught it. Wouldn't you know we should have... There goes another one over the edge. I tell you, that's a stitch. It's Jim, I bet. It looks like Jim. It looks like Jim that's out there on the field, but you did catch one ball out of 30, Jim, then that's a good start. Oh my gosh, now you're going to bat. Let's see if you can bat any better. Oh, well, that was a good swing. How embarrassing to have taken it when you struck out. Oh, foof. Look at that. They take a picture when you struck out. I bet you hit a home run sometime in your life. I thought you were one of the better athletes in the group. That shows you what I know. Oh, there you go. You got another shot at it. Let's see if you hit one this time. Come on. Line that ball up. Give it a... Ooh! Oh! I thought that one was over the fence. You look like you were ready. Not again! Well, now we're going to play soccer. I don't blame you for giving up baseball. When you can't hit and you can't catch, then go for it. Let's see, and I think that is either Dan or Jim. I have to get a closer look. You all were on the same teams and wear the same kind of uniforms. We should have had you have a big sign on you so we'd know what was what. Okay, I don't know. I'm just going to say that's a Burger Kid playing. That covers the multitude. I think it's wonderful. Oh, didn't quite go in. You know, I never could figure out who invented the uniforms for games. In the summer when it was hot as the bejeebers, you wore those big cover-up baseball uniforms. And when it was winter and it was freezing cold, you ran around in a little pair of shorts. Now, it must have been some silly man that invented that. Women would have thought about it and gotten an act together. Okay, now which one of those is ours? I know it's not a kid in the white. No, that looks like Jim, but it might be Dan. So whoever sees this and puts a claim, that looked like Tom. That looks like somebody. Now that kind of looks like Tom to me. Wouldn't you think you'd know your own children? Jimmy graduating from 8th grade. Look at that suit you're wearing. I'm telling you, are you cool or what? Would you, Jim, you're so cool. Oh, Jim, and I'm saying, well, say something for crying out loud. Here we are playing hockey. Now, I'm going to have to try to figure out if that looks like Jim. Is this Jim playing hockey? At Webster Groves, you were on this is long beyond the midgets, wasn't it? This was the midgets playing. Was it at Webster Groves? It is, I believe. You should see that state-of-the-art ice rink that they have there now. It's all indoors. But that was the coldest place. And 6 o'clock in the morning, midnight, whatever. So I would say Jim was maybe 8th grade when this was going on, I would guess. I don't think Danny was on the same team. And Jim always played defensive. And he was cool. Jim liked to get penalties. Jim liked to tough it. I remember when you were at St. Lucie High, Jim, and you played at the arena where the pros played. And your ambition was to get a penalty and have to sit in the penalty box and son of a gun if you didn't do it about 6 times. Well, that wasn't a very graceful fall, I would say. Do you realize that those kids are all out there and we allowed them to be without any face mask, any teeth protection? At least they did have helmets on. That was a start in the right direction. But I tell you, all those years that we let them play, you were good, Jim. You were always aggressive. I'm watching this and it's going through my head that Jim always was such a good person that he said, I am going to set the example so that my brother Dan, when he comes along, will know just what to do. And sure enough, he played defense at the same time and he would get penalties. And it was just a marvelous thing. Of course, I was embarrassed to death because I said, you don't behave that way. But they said, you're only good if you don't go in there hitting. And they did. The only time that I thought it was good they went in there hitting, one time you played Afton, and they were so mean and awful that I almost hit some kid on the head with my pocketbook because he was so ugly to you kids. But I just restrained myself. But see, now look how good Jim is playing now. It won't be long, Dan, and you'll grow up and be able to play also. Won't that be nice? Okay, now here we are. on Forest 8, and that's Jim. I bet you're leaving for college. Steve McElroy there. And there, oh, I love your matched luggage. Plastic garbage bags. Oh my gosh, that was Steve. And who's the girl? That was a pretty smooth car you had going. You can see I'm saying, hurry up and go. I've got to go play tennis. Oh, and that is the Fonz. Oh my gosh, and that is Tom, I suppose. That was Danny with the Fonz.